but I still communicate with my mother and my brother. We're a loving family. My family were Christians, so my mother taught us the trainings of how to pray and how to invite God in everything we do. Personally, I am the media personality, the makeup artist, and a singer. I attended the University of Canada. I graduated from the Department of Mathematics. Yes, and my love for media has taken me to where I currently am. I love singing. My side hobbies are reading, dancing. Well, I DJ on the side. I have creative abilities, so I can do anything that has to do with handwork. I can sew. I have a couple of friends who are close-knit, and they've been a full support system for me. I go out on Fridays, we hang out, we have fun, we dance. My everyday lifestyle in Lagos, I wake up, I have my bath, I pray, I go to work. We face the hustles of Lagos, the traffic, the rush hour for the buses. When you get to work, you're exhausted. But then everything still comes out fine because what you have to do, you have to do it. A junkie, I don't really like food that much, but then I like snacking a lot and taking sweet things. I love playing games, especially games that engage the mind. So most times you find me on my phone playing board games, word cookies, and all of that. My name is Princess, I'm the face of Sickle Cell, and this is my world story. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down. Life with Sickle Cell has not been easy. The reality of it has been a journey, and through the years, you get to learn, you get to relearn, you get to experience things for yourself. But initially growing up, people experience for you and tell you what to do and what not to do. But along the line, you come to a point where you need to find out the reasons why you're not doing this and the reasons why you're doing this, and you gain the experience, and that way you can share with others. But so far, it's been interesting. We've had bad memories, we've had good memories. We try to create happy ambience around us, and it's been fun. Daily routine. Okay, so I'd say I have a triangular routine as church, home, work. But then since 2019, I've been trying to put in 1 or 2 bits of extra activities. So my daily routine will be wake up, get to work, from work probably to a meeting or a learning place or a dance lesson, salsa dance classes, or probably rehearsals at church, or just something at home, seeing a movie, anything. So my daily routine is not stable, but then it's basic. Stigmatization, yes, I have. So growing up, I used to be called Abiku when I was in secondary school, primary school, secondary school. That's because frequently I had very frequent occurrences of sickle cell crisis. So it used to be weekly for me, and then 3 days out of the week I'd be sick and home. So people started talking and calling names. But currently, the stigmatization I have had after school would be getting a job initially. Once you pass the interview period process and you get to the health checkups and they get to find out that you have sickle cell, then you hear messages from them like, "We'll get back to you," or "I would call you," and stuff like that. And they never get to call you back. Though you know that you made it through, probably you're the last 2% of percent, they just don't get to call you because everybody's afraid or doesn't want to have anything to do with people, someone with sickle cell. That's been my fair share of life. My biggest fear. My biggest fear before now was going public. But then I went public last year on my 25th birthday, and my biggest fear currently we are inadequate or not complete beings. The funny thing about it is we have more power within us than regular people. I'd say that because living the life is a battle generally, having the pains and being able to pull through and get back to work. So people just feel there are things we cannot do. People feel the activities you shouldn't engage in, but that is a misconception, because just like every other human, we are normal, our body parts are functioning right, and we're good. Limitations. Do I think I'm limited by my health? Yes, to a large extent. I'd say I'm limited by my health because there are times where you have things to do. Okay, so how it works is we don't know when the crisis would pop up. Sometimes they just show up despite you're doing everything right. And so you may just have a major project at hand, and then that morning you get a visitor of a pain, probably in the leg or in the chest or by your head and all of that. And at that point, you would not be able to carry out that project. So that for me is a limitation. But dealing with it so far has been first putting my mind in place and in check. So when I wake up and I feel something is probably going or about to go wrong, I do all the basic checks, routine, eat, take your drugs, keep yourself warm if it's cold, take hot water and all of that. Do everything basically to keep in check. And then tell my mind that I can pull through this. Once my mind is in sync with what I want to do, then most times, despite the pain, I pull it off. Okay, for couples who are both AF, the first thing I'd say would be no, don't get married. But then science has helped us in this age and time to make everything easier and better. So the first advice I would give to you is weigh your options. How strong is your love? Because when sickle cell comes and a child comes out having sickle cell, the pain and the struggle and the issues you'd have to face in the hospital, would your love be able to carry you through the period? If it wouldn't, I'd say don't get married. If it would, that's one part. The next part is how well is your finances? Can you go through the regular health implications, the emergencies, the trials and all that would come with it? There might be times you might need a transfusion and all of that. Be sure that you have the money to pull it off too. And lastly, if there's a way you can avoid it before you get to the point of emotionally being involved, please do. Just try to avoid bringing a child to this world to suffer. Growing up, I used to think that my parents were wicked, having me when they shouldn't have, but then it wasn't their fault. But if you know in this time and age and you still choose to, Um, I pray God helps you, but please don't. Thank you. My advice to younger boys and girls. First, I'd advise you to stay warm, keep healthy. Everything the doctor tells you to do. Take your veggies, your fruits, drink your water regularly, take your drugs. Imbibe the culture of seeing your drugs as a regular part of your life. Don't feel like, don't see it as a burden. Just, though it's not sweet, but enjoy taking them daily. Make it like your regular food you eat. And then open your mind to life. Be happy. Try not to dwell in your pain. One thing that has seen me through is music and telling myself to always be happy. Happiness is a choice. Don't let your problems outweigh you. And once you start feeling pain, speak up. Don't hold back or try to manage it, because sometimes in trying to keep it to yourself, it shoots beyond and then you have a major crisis. But dream big. Don't stop dreaming. That your sickle cell does not limit you from achieving things. You can be anything and everything you want to be. Whatever skill or career your heart pursues, take it as a hobby initially, and then with time, with more practice, you'll be there. Bone marrow transplant. It's a good and a welcome idea to help people. I have considered it, and if I were to be younger, probably, and if I were to be from a family that all the money was there, then maybe I would have tried it out. But then, for me personally, I think I'd rather deal with my situation at the moment and not risk it. But then, if we were to be in another clime where everything was stable and the equipment and everything was fine, or you can fund it and you can go over and do it, then fine, take a chance at life. Life itself is a risk. It's a give or take thing. Techniques. Are there techniques? Well, everything they tell us at the clinics and the centers are tips that I would use. Keep warm, yes, but for me, what has helped so far is I always try to keep warm, always, because I realized that I can get cold through any means. Silly means through my leg, I could get cold, and then that's something also. As much as I can, see me wear pantyhose, socks, cover up, sweaters. I always have my sweater and I'm going to my water bottle. Most times they call me tanker because I'm always drinking, but drink often, and then just try to be happy. It's definitely not easy. There are times the thoughts would want to come in, and there are times would easily swing to depression because I've gone through it and it's not funny. But then consciously keep your mind on happy things. Stay around happy people, places that will make you excited. That should also help. Be ready to handle it. You need to be ready to handle the emotions people will push out to you. Some persons will take it well, welcoming and want to be all out and there for you. Some other persons would pull back and run away from the relationship or friendship. But then it's needful for us as people living sickle cell disorder to be open, because at any point in time anything could come up, and people around you basically should know 1 or 2 steps to help in managing it, to curb it. So for me, I'll try my best to be more open this period though, but then let's be open. God helping us, and the people would accept us better, hopefully. Yes, there's a stigma attached to sickle cell disease. I would want people to know that situations in life vary and experiences with people are different. My last relationship that went wrong happened to be that he was he was AA rather, and I'm SS, and we're supposed to get married, but his parents or his mother rather, who's a chief nursing officer, would not permit, saying that she has taken care of sickle cell patients and they die, they don't need healthy, she wants healthy the healthy daughter-in-law that will take care of her grandchildren and all. My push would be, people are different. That you've dealt with an experience and the person died doesn't mean every other person too will die at their prime. God gives us grace to go through circumstances, and God still knows how far our life would come. Be open to us, accept us for who we are. It's not our fault that we are like this. So, for the people that would choose not to stop stigmatizing, I wish you well in life endeavors. And for those that will be readily open to accept us, God bless you. Mentally. Before getting to this point, my medical condition had actually affected me because I had bouts, adding to the fact that I used to be on the reserved end as an introvert, but then and most times introverts take in their feelings without expressing how they feel. So most times you feel sad, you feel unhappy, you just feel like the whole world is against you. And growing up in a place where every other child is left to play, be happy, jump up, but you can't do what they are doing because every eye is on you. Don't do that, don't jump, sit down, you can't do this. If you run a little, you run out of breath and you feel like you're about to pass out and all of that. So it gets to the mind, and then you start thinking and you overthink and you overanalyze things and situations, and it easily leads to depression. And nowadays we know that depression is causing so many people to commit suicide and all. And then dealing with it would have to come to a point of accepting who we are. For me, dealing with mental health, I had to come to terms with the fact that I am one living with sickle cell, and I need to create an environment that is happy. I moved, so at some point I had to come to terms that staying around family is limiting and doesn't allow me to be the best of me, so I had to move out. And in moving out, I had to create that environment for myself that is happy, that is joyful, that I live in the moment. Most people say I'm too playful, but then you need to play. You need to allow yourself to be happy. That way you would forget about whatever health condition you're going through. And if you keep putting your mind on it and thinking about it, it's going to affect your mental health deeply. So be happy, play, have fun, go out, meet new people, make new friends, talk about it. It also helps. My faith, that's the biggest foundation for dealing with the mental issues that come with being sickle cell or whatever mental issues that come from living in this life. The basis of my life is God. And many people are surprised when I tell them, because they say, you don't look it, you look healthy, you look different. I came to the point of holding on to God for myself when I moved first to school. My first experience was leaving home, leaving my mother, leaving my family, no one around me, and I realized I was on my own. There was nowhere to turn to. But then I've grown in God and I've realized that He is one true friend that is right beside you at every point in time. You don't need, mother's prayer goes a long way. Yes, our mom will always pray for us. But then we need to commune with Him for ourselves. Talking to God helps, it eases your pain, because the Holy Spirit is one person that would listen to you without bias, without being judgmental, without the write-up. Because talking to people, like when you tell people, I'm a graduate, I'm looking for a job, I can't get a job. Some people just feel you're lazy. They feel you're using your sickle cell as an excuse and all of that. But the fact is, the reality is, people don't want to have you around for fear of you falling ill, for fear of you not being able to carry out your duties and all of that. But having God and talking to Him helps you go through it. Through every rejection, at whatever point in life, it helps you smooth, like through it. God understands, God knows that it's not your fault, and God gives you advice, wisdom, counsel that will take you through the experience. So my faith is one thing that I know has helped me so far. Without God, I know I would not be here today, and without Him, we all are nothing. So we need to hold on to Him strongly. Whatever you call Him, He may be God to you, He may be Bama to you, He may be Allah, whatever you call God, just hold on to Him and trust in Him. He would help you through this life experience. Okay, so the greatest challenge I've ever had will be, it's going to be, let me explain like this. So I'm in a group of friends, they don't know I'm sickle cell, and so we're just normal, we go out, we hang out and all of that, and then one day you fall sick, and then everybody's like, what's going on with you, what's going on? And they find out that you're sickle cell. My biggest challenge is the reaction at the moment. Once they find out, they just put this cage around you, like, no, don't do this, no, don't do this. It's frustrating. And sometimes they're like, what's going on? Just let me be. But then, it's because they love you, that's why they do that. But it's a major challenge. I just feel when people find out or know that you're sickle cell, they should still allow you be, to still express yourself and do the things you normally do to make you happy and all of that. And my worst crisis. My worst crisis. I think I was 6 or 8. Thereabouts. My dad was still alive. Then I was in the hospital for about a month plus, and I had to be transfused. Yes, and my dad gave me his blood. I think that has been my biggest crisis so far, but the one I had not so long. But God helped me through this one. Was the doctors did a scan and they said I had hemorrhagic cysts. But through prayers and talking to God and all, somehow I was healed. We didn't do the operation, we didn't do all of that. So that would have been my biggest crisis, because that period I couldn't eat, I couldn't lie down, my stomach, everything was just in pain. Greatest joy, even sickle cell. My greatest joy has been being a motivation to people. I happen to be a member of a team, a group of people in church, and I lead the team. And until last time I went public, most people didn't know. But then finding out, and they were like, you're so strong, you're this, you're that, you encourage me, inspire me. That gives me joy. When people realize that no matter how difficult this life is, you can actually pull through. You can actually put a smile on someone else's faces. I always tell people that my purpose in life is to make people smile. And that's why whenever I'm anywhere, I play, I try to be happy, I make others around me happy, because For one thing, memories are things that last forever. As long as you can put and create that memory in somebody's mind, even if you die tomorrow, people will always remember you. That's been my greatest joy.